Hi guys, so today I'm going to be making a centre console for this Land Rover. As you can probably see, there's a centre console already here. The customer supplied this one, but it's not a very good fit. I don't actually think it's from this vehicle. I think it's from a different model. So I don't like the way it fits. I'll just show you how bad it is. So it's quite badly fitting here. I can get my whole finger underneath this bit here. I don't like the way this comes around like that. It's obviously it looks a little bit strange, and when it's covered in this burgundy leather that's on the dash, it will look even more obvious. It's terrible here. It doesn't fit up to the bulkhead here, and you can see behind here it doesn't fit very well there either, and it doesn't fit at the top where it meets the dash properly. It's the same here. It's got a big board underneath the back of it, and I can get my fingers underneath the whole of that there. So I'm going to make a new one of these, but with the new one I'm going to make it in two pieces. So this back half to this point here will be one piece, and then from here forward will be another piece. The owner also wants to be able to put an iPad here at the front, so I'm going to make it a slightly different shape. I'm going to make it a bit more flat here and come up a bit higher, probably up to about here, and then it'll fit a little bit better as well. So first thing I need to do is to get rid of this out of the way, and then I need to start making a pattern. Now I'm going to use plywood for that. Most people would use cardboard, but I don't have cardboard here, but I have lots of offcuts of plywood, thin 3mm ply. So I'm just going to use this offcut of 3mm ply here. Now the first thing I need to do is to find this angle here, so the angle of this part here at the back, so that angle up there. Once I've done that, I'll cut that off, and then I can start to scribe in around these parts here and the bit at the front there, and get it to sit nicely onto the bed here. Once that's done, I can then work out exactly how high I'm going to make it and everything else. So I've just got a scrap bit of plywood here, and I'm just going to place that along there to give me the correct angle, and then I can just draw that line in there. So the line's drawn in now. I'm going to cut that away, so all this will be removed, and then I'll bring it back and offer it up again. Now I've trimmed off this. I've not actually used that line. I've used a ruler to give me the distance. Now you can see that I'm actually got a gap here, but I'm tight there, so I'll use the pencil and just draw that in and recut. Now that's a little bit better, but when I come to actually fit this is going to have carpet on it here, so I need to get a scrap piece of carpet and just put some carpet behind it just to see how offset it's going to be here. Now I've got that in place where it should be, I need to scribe out for here and here. I'm going to use a square. I'm going to square up there. So I'm going to come up to an inch. Also now scribing this area here. So that'll be that, and that will be where that's going to be. And again, we'll come up there, and we'll probably come up there. So I'm going to sneak up on this here when I cut it. So I'm not going to cut all of it away. I'll cut a little bit of it away, and then I'll offer it up again and see how it is. So as you can see here, we're not too bad here. We're touching there. I would like it a little bit tighter there, but when I cut the actual piece, it's going to be trimmed off at this point anyway, because this is where the finish point is going to be on this back edge. So I'm not too concerned about that. So you can see we're touching here, but we've got a gap. As we come further along, the gap starts here, and then it slowly moves, and I can start to get my finger underneath here, get my finger underneath there, finger underneath there, finger underneath there, big gap there, and then we're almost touching here. So now I need to scribe in this line here and trim off more on that end. So it's just a case now of just tweaking it and altering it and making sure we fit perfectly. Once I've got that to fit perfectly, I can then decide exactly where the height's going to be, because it has to line up with the gear selector and touch at the back there. So yeah, it's just a case of whittling it away. So we're getting a little bit better. We've still got a gap here, we're almost touching there, and we've got a gap here. So I'll need to take off a little bit more from this edge here. Now we're going to have carpet here, so I think I'll just put the carpet underneath and have a look. So that's better. So I'll get away with that. I just need to take a little bit off this back end here. Now that's not a bad fit at all, that. So we're a good fit at the front here. It's tight up against the carpet. And then as we go to the back, we're a good fit at the back as well. So I'm happy enough with that. Now I need to actually find my final height. So we're now cut to the correct height. So there we go, we're just on level with the top of the gear selector. So I now need to cut the angle that I'm going to cut here. It's not obviously square with this line here, because that would look a little bit silly if it's at that angle there. I want it to come like that, straight up. So I need to use this line here as the angle. So this line here is going to be the angle that I'm going to use, not this one here, this one. So I need to make sure this fits on the other side as well. So I'm going to cut another one of these, exactly the same as this, if it does fit, which it should do. It should fit here. Once I've got two, I can actually then measure my distance for the top part that's going in here. So now those two are cut, what I'm going to do is when I put them on the vehicle, I'm just going to use little blocks of wood, just spacers, just to space them out the right distance. So I'm going to offer that to the vehicle. This one might have to be moved. The gear selector goes somewhere around here. So I'm going to have to see whether this is in the way. I don't think it will be, but just in case. But that's rigid enough now to place in to make sure I can get it in the right position. And then I will pattern where the gear stick goes. It's going to have a storage box here. Let's see if it fits. Right, so that was my issue, catching there. So I've just marked here and here, and then where I need to cut it off, so that will fit over the top of here. So now we fit where I want it to. Absolutely perfect. I'm happy enough with that. When I make the final piece, these corners, where these ends will be rounded off a little bit. Same here, I'll just round off the front edge here. But I just want to get the initial size and shape and the box into the correct position. Once this is done in the correct position, I can move on and do the same for the front end. So now I need to make a pattern for this top part. So we're fine on the width, to shave a tiny touch off the back end. So I have the two templates now, so it's the top piece that goes over the gear selector, see the hole that the gear selector goes, and the side piece. So two of these, obviously one for each side, and then I've got to cut one for the top of this here. Now the top piece here is going to be cut out of probably 12mm ply for this, so I'm going to have to adjust the height of this piece here to accommodate the thickness of the ply. Now the ply is not going to stick up 12mm past the top of the gear selector. I'm going to put a rebate in the back of this here on the final piece, and a round over on the top edge. So what I need to do then is to adjust what got left over and add it to here. So it'll only be a couple of mil that I need to add to the, maybe 3 at the very most, but we'll see. So what I'll do now is cut out all the pieces. I'll build the final box, and then I'll show you what it looks like. So now this is the box. So the sides are still out of 3.6mm ply. I don't need anything thicker than that on these. They'll get the strength from this piece here. So this is the piece that goes around the gear selector. It goes that way. So this here is for a little tray, just for knickknacks, cones, whatever. Maybe a mobile phone. It's big enough for a mobile phone just to fit in there, nice and flat. I've cut the rebate out of the back of here, so that'll sit over the top of the gear selector. On the front edge here, I've scribed around where the gear selector fits the hose in, so that fits around there nicely. Put a full piece of 3.6mm ply over the face of that. That's all that's needed there. No, it doesn't need any strength there. Behind this, I'm going to put another piece of plywood. So this piece of plywood will fit in here. So that'll fit in there like that. What I will need to do though is to make this back end here slightly smaller. So I'll cut probably here away, all the way down on both sides, because when the lid of the box that's going in here, when the lid gets opened, it will be a padded lid, so it'll be like an armrest effectively. But at this length, the lid won't open all the way. It'll only open to probably about there, which will mean it'll just fall all the time. It won't stay up by itself. So what I need to do is make this smaller, so then when the lid opens, it will open to its full, or just past 90, just so it stays up by itself. without flapping down all the time, because nothing worse than needing two hands to get into it, because you've got to keep the lid open. So I'll probably take an inch away from this end. When it comes to the box that's in here, it will be a separate box, so I'll make a box that will fit into this recess here, because what I'm going to do is I will use this piece of wood here that's going along here. That'll be how it gets fixed to the vehicle, so I'll just put a couple of screws in through here into the vehicle itself, and that'll secure that in place. So the box needs to be removable, and it'll just get inserted in and probably attached with a couple of screws at the back here, just so it doesn't wiggle about. It should be quite tight. I'll make it so it'll fit in there really nicely, but I won't make that box until I've fitted this into position and it's all wrapped in leather, just because the leather will give me a little bit more thickness on here. I don't want it to push out and be too tight. I want it to fit in snug but not overly tight, so it can be removed. So if the whole console needs to come out, there's going to be no issue about getting the box out. So the first job now is to put another strengthening piece in here, and then I can cut away this size. I'll make a lid for the box. Once I've done that, I will attach, it goes that way, I will attach this piece in permanently, and the piece that goes under here, like that. I'll attach that permanently as well, so that's all permanently attached. Once I've done that, I will probably leave this for now, and then I need to still make templates for the front part of the console. So once this is all together, I can then put that back in the vehicle, put it into its correct position, and then I'll be able to actually pattern around it. I can then make the front part to the console and then wrap them both in leather, and then we should be fine. So I'll get on with attaching all these now. There's a couple of staples just to hold it in place for now. So I don't want to staple this because I'm going to round over all these edges, and I don't want the staples to be in the way. I don't want to rotor through the staples, so I'm going to clamp this into position. That should hold that in place. So I've just got to let that glue go off now. I'll cut the board that's going to be the lid to the box, because I can just measure that now, and then that'll be all the pieces cut for that, apart from the box that goes in here. So all the pieces are now cut. I'll put that to one side. So I'll see you in part 2 when all this glue's dried, and I'll do the front part. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you again. Bye.